Let's go back and talk more about a few specifics that you just laid out, because I'm sure a number of people watching may need to know more about them. Number one, you mentioned chakras, and in the Ajna Center in particular. Just give us a little background about chakras and what they mean to meditation.
Well, behind this solid physical body that we're all uncomfortably at times aware of is another body, the etheric body, of which this is simply a precipitation. And in the etheric body there are various vortices. There are 7 major vortices up the spine. And through these vortices are chakras, or centers. All the energies entering our system go in and out of these chakras. We're living really in an ocean of etheric energy. And our etheric body is simply a more condensed part of that ocean of energy.
Is etheric energy, is that like what people see in Kirlian photographs of auras around hands? I know it's not just the aura.
It's not just that, but the aura itself is made up of all the energies from the soul, the mental and the astral, and the etheric levels of our being. And these all interact with each other in the aura. But all of that is going in and out of these 7 major and very many minor chakras or centers. These are the basic organizing organs of energy distribution in the physical body. Each of these chakras or centers is connected with one of the major endocrine glands, and the endocrine system receives its energy and its balance functioning from the balanced functioning of the chakras in the etheric body.
So what's the reason for focusing in the Ajna Center during transmission?
The Ajna Center is the directive center and eventually becomes the synthesizer of all the energies below it, from the base chakra up to this point here. And it's safe for people to use that center to meditate on. So they turn their attention to it, hold it there, and as it wanders off and they notice it has done, they think, not aloud, but think Om, and it automatically comes back to that. That forms an alignment, you see, between the physical brain and the soul. And the energies are really being sent from the soul level. In fact, to be specific, the Buddhic level. It's the 2nd level of the spiritual triad.
That's above the mental level.
Above the mental level, yeah.
Is the Ajna Center generally a good place to put attention for any kind of meditation?
Indeed, this gradually brings about mental polarization. Most people are astrally polarized. They're working all the time basically from the solar plexus. As the attention is held at the Ajna Center, and of course it's a non-strained situation, it's simply gradually you become able to hold automatically without strain the attention at that center, and this brings about the shift from astral emotional polarization to mental polarization. And when mental polarization takes place, it's a gradual process, then the soul can more and more work through its vehicle, which is the man or woman in incarnation.
You mentioned also that during transmission you sound the Om. Can you tell us a little bit about the Om? I know when meditation first was introduced and had its big boom in America in the 60s, people were sounding Oms all over the place. You say there's a particular way of sounding it, that it has certain effects and certain uses. Can you talk about that?
Om is really a combination of A-U-M, and A-U-M, if correctly sounded, with focus, that is a mental focus, stimulates the chakras. The A stimulates the chakra at the base of the spine, the U stimulates the chakra in the heart, and the M stimulates this chakra here. So these 3 resound at the same time. Now, you don't bother about the base of the spine in this type of meditation. And then instead of saying Om, like A-U-M, it becomes Om, O-M. So that only the heart and the head centers are actually activated. Now, Om is a combination of all possible mantras. All sounds together are synthesized in the Om. Out of A-U-M, every single mantra that you could possibly think of or has been organized and become a potent sound has come from that combination of A-U-M. So it is called the name of God. It is the word, the initiating sound that can bring into manifestation whatever from the scientific knowledge of mantra you wish to create.
Om is an Eastern word. Does it have anything to do with Amen in the West?
Oh, indeed, yeah. Amen comes from Om.
What about the actual functioning in a transmission group? What actually happens when people turn their attention, begin the Om? What happens in terms of the group itself in its interaction with the hierarchy?
When they sound the great invocation, which they do aloud with a focused attention and intention, because the will has to be brought into play, and that is done through the Ajahn Center. They put their attention on the Ajahn Center, say aloud the great invocation, that automatically invokes the energy from the hierarchy. That's why it was given. And through the conduit form, it's like telepathic conduit, which is set up through the enunciation of what is in fact a great mantra. The energy is sent through there, and then the masters are looking at that group, which is arranged to be in a certain place at a certain time regularly, whatever it is, Monday and Tuesday, or Monday and Friday, or Monday, Wednesday and Friday, at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, or wherever they decide to be. Then the masters know that at that time, in that place, will be a group of people of 3 and upwards who are ready to have these energies transmitted through them. The masters see them as they look through this chakra here. They see
their own chakras.
Their own Ajna Center. They see into the world, and they see that group there. And then they...
How do they see that group?
They see them as a kind of extension of their vision. They see them as light, they see the chakras, they see the radiance of the chakras, and they can evaluate precisely the point in evolution of each individual by that radiance or lack of radiance. And through each person's chakra then, a potency of the various energies which they wish to distribute is put, exactly conforming to the point of evolution of each individual.
Now,
highly scientific.
Now the masters know to attune to them because the great invocation is like a buzzer that goes off.
Yes, it's like ringing a bell, yeah. There's a group down there.
And they start to transmit, the masters tune in,
yes, exactly.
and they make these adjustments, you say, based on where each of the people
exactly.
are.
So no one receives a higher potency of any particular energy than their chakras can stand. But at the same time, it's an ongoing process, so the vibration is lifted and lifted all the time, and so it is impossible, you see, to do this work, to have these great spiritual energies poured through the chakras in this highly scientific way, because these are master scientists, without the chakras being transformed. And they measure your evolutionary journey by the state of play of your chakras. How brilliant, how fast they're moving, how intense the light, and so on. And so you're entering a hothouse. It's a forcing process. In doing transmission meditation, you're performing a service, but at the same time, you're serving yourself more easily, more potently than you could possibly do. So much so that in 1 year of properly conducted, intensely carried out transmission meditation, you make the same kind of spiritual advance as in, well, I don't know, 10, 15 years of ordinary meditation.